Okay, so we are in the next part of our lesson on texture, and I think I figured out why I couldn't hear myself talking in the other videos, which means I probably screwed up the whole thing. And also because this was clanking a lot, so I just put some paper towels under there. Okay, anyway, so now I'm gonna add, so this is the time when you can add some brighter colors here if you want. Let's see, what have I been using lately? You could use anything really. So like this color is really great. So I just kind of hope it doesn't squirt out on me. So if you can run over this, you can actually feel the textures underneath that we did before, which is what really makes it cool in the end. So I'm putting some of this yellow on, and then I'm going to get another color that's kind of complementary-ish. I don't know how complementary-ish this is, but let's look. A lot of this is trial and error. If you oops, then fix it in the next step. Okay, so adding on some of that red. So then, here we go again, my favorite tool. So we could just kind of scrape this along. Just like that, however you want to do it. Like I said, I am just in love with this trowel. It's satisfying. It makes for a really pretty end result. So now we've got that on here. And we've got the other places on here where we've scratched. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some of this parchment color up here. And I know you're like, why is it blue underneath? Well, yes, it is blue underneath, but right now you can see all of these little bits of texture popping out there from earlier, and then we can also make more. So one of the things I really love, and where did it go? Oh no, here it is. So I showed this in the last video. So I use this a lot. So you're making scratches in this, and anywhere really that you want to be able to see this texture later. One other thing I love to do is kind of do like this swirling kind of thing here. And then sometimes I like go over it again, but then I'll make them. It's a process. It's kind of like you do a little bit and then you take a look at it and you decide, maybe I want to change that, and it's fine. That's like the fun of making abstract art, and it just goes layer over layer over layer. So, you know, I might decide to smooth this out with a little bit of white and then add another color on it, and that's totally cool. For several reasons. One, it's because it's mine, and I say so. And secondly, because I know that I could just go over it again, and it's not a big deal. So anytime I go over this more, it's covering up some texture that I made earlier. So, and I can promise you I'm in this dark color kick, so this is definitely not how it's gonna look in the end, but it can just serve as a way to show you. So this area here, I don't want to go over it yet because this is still wet, and if I do, then it's going to make like a mud because it's going to take all of this with it. So unfortunately, here comes patience again, not my strong suit. And I just love this darn tool. So I know it's hard to see with the camera angle, but I will again take pictures when I'm done. So you just do this for a little bit, whatever you want. It's fun. Another thing that I like to do is you can use a marking tool like this pencil, and it will mark over the paint, but more so causes more texture, like it does indentations. And this is going to be funny. You don't have to be an artist to do it. It's like going back to kindergarten. It's good times. It's however you feel. It's what's so cool about it, because it's literally whatever you feel. So we've got this layer on, we're gonna let this dry, and then we will be back. This step, I'm just gonna use it to demonstrate the textures that we've made while we've been working on this. Some of this isn't dry, but it's okay. So I made a wash of brown with a crap ton of water, like totally soppy. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the painting with it, just like this. It adds very little color, but it kind of tones it down, gives it almost like a vintage type of look. Obviously, if that's not what you're going for, don't do it. But I'm using this specifically, so I'm really bad at cinematography. Anyway, so when you go over with this, you can see all of the texture. And what you can do if you want is you can take a cloth and kind of rub it, and it'll stay inside of the marks that we made. So you could do that, or you could keep it on there. I like it on there. So I'm gonna keep it. So you can do a wash anytime. Like you could do a wash with white. So like if I take this, I know you can't see my palette, but anyway, I'm making this white, and I can just go over top of, say, the middle, and the white is getting stuck inside of these little crevices, but at the same time, it's not changing those colors to white. So it might mute them a little bit, which is fine, because if you don't want that, then you just do this. So I'm just gonna stop here and take a picture of what it looks like at this point, so you can see all of the texture that we made. So you can see the different scratches and random other markings that have been made. And when we put the brown wash on, it kind of highlights them a little bit more. One of the things I love is in here where I use the trowel, makes some really cool marks, and you can see these on some of the other things that I've made. And textures like this can add a lot to a painting. It can give an interesting illusion that it's old or marbled or whatever. It's whatever you want, but it's fun, and it looks darn cool.